Let's talk about negotiation types. So kind of like the Kung Fu movies where, one guy's doing jujitsu, one guy's doing, like Taekwondo or whatever it is, right? Like Kung Fu. There's people that have different styles of negotiations. Like when you,
very much so.
There's the bat, hit you over the head. And then there's the, like, I'm your best friend, right? Like talk to us about I think there's 3 or 4, maybe, I don't know, this would be something you would know. What are the most common types of negotiations?
Yeah. So
is there a better one?
Great questions. And please feel free to remind me of those as I work my way through this thought process.
Because jujitsu is pretty awesome.
It is, right? It very much is. We use in some of our marketing, right? This whole verbal judo, verbal jujitsu thing.
Right.
So the way, based on the data that we've gathered over the last 10 some odd years, the world pretty much breaks evenly into thirds.
Okay.
There isn't really a dominant type within the world that's really taking names, as it were, or leading the pack. It pretty much breaks down into thirds. And the simple way to look at it is there's fight, flight, and make friends.
Yeah.
And what we define at the Black Swan Group is the assertive, the analyst, and the accommodator.
Gotcha.
And the assertive, as you mentioned earlier, that kind of bludgeon, beat you over the head, very direct. And what comes off as a counterpart to the assertive, someone who seems extremely emotional, but they see themselves as being very direct and honest.
Right.
And then that's our fight mode. The analyst is a little bit more standoffish. That, we look at this type as being very pragmatic and also very skeptical in nature.
Do you think they have less emotion?
I think they got just as much emotion as everybody else.
They just show it differently.
That's exactly it. They show it differently. What I find hilarious about the analyst type is, as we're sitting here from the table up, there's nothing you can see.
Right.
But when I feel under pressure, if you could look at my feet and see how my feet are dancing underneath the table, or how my hands are, twiddling my thumbs, right? That's how they show it physically, but in a much more subtle way, as opposed to just screaming and pointing and yelling like an
waving your
assertive
hands,
might. Exactly, right? Very much
using
more subtle.
profanity, whatever it might be. Yeah.
Exactly right. And then we got our accommodator, who's our make friends. The accommodator, what's more important to them than actually making a deal is just making sure that we're good.
Right.
I want to make sure that you and I are personally on good terms. I want to make sure that you like me.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting for the analyst and the assertive. They could care less whether or not you like them.
Right.
But to the accommodator, that's a foundational piece of how we're going to work together moving forward, is if we like each other.
Yeah. So those are the 3 types. Now, is it possible to have all 3 in your kind of your toolbox, or is it just that's just the natural leaning way, and someone can maybe try to do it this other way if they're skilled? You know what I mean? Like, is that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so, no, it's not impossible to answer that question, right? But it's something to be worked towards. And the way that we describe it is, this is really the beginning of the discussion, right? There's no way we can put people in boxes. Like you 30 people, you're all assertives, and you 35, you're accommodators, right? It doesn't work that way. The reality is
more of a spectrum with like a mix. Gotcha.
Yeah. But really what we want to boil down to is when someone feels like they got punched in the teeth in a negotiation, which that happens in negotiation. That's kind of the nature of the conversation in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
When you feel like you get punched in the teeth in a negotiation, you're going to react one of 3 ways. And so if you're the one throwing the punch, being very aware of how they're probably going to react to it is going to help you sequence out your communication with that person.
Is it like chess in that way?
In a lot of ways, I think it is. In a lot of ways,
know what their next move is before, like.
Yeah, I play a little bit of chess. I would compare it to spades.
Okay.
Right. If I had to pick a sit down game, right, because there's a teamwork aspect there, and there's you control your own destiny in a lot of ways based on your cards, which is similar in chess, except there's no team aspect. And yeah, being able to read the moment, or for example, like, and for those of you who don't play spades, probably won't get this, but you got jokers, right? Big and little. And so if I'm going to play a little joker because I want to make you play the big, I'm trying to draw the card out of your hand. I know you're going to win the book because your card's higher than mine, but I got a plan based on what else is in my hand. I need to get that card out of my way so that I can run the table. And that's very much like it is, right? I'm going to get your negative emotion out of the way because I'm getting ready to run the table.